Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got BYUN in the bottom left side of the map for Shopify Rebellion. Nervous, excited, playing some of the best StarCraft he's played recently. He's been crushing every single online tournament leading in to this World Championship. It is, of course, an Esports World Cup match. It's Group A. It's the lower bracket. Both sides have lost their previous matches. ASTREA in the top right, up against BYUN. And ASTREA, of course, playing here for the Polar Bear team. Virtus Pro, that's the name. They got a cool polar bear on their logo. This is, of course, the $1 million tournament, biggest World Cup in all of StarCraft's history. Previous ones, biggest prize pools was, I think, 800,000 for 2018 and 2019. But going from $280,000 prize pool in that tournament to 400,000 in this. Excuse me. Neither of these players are favorites to win the entire thing, but they are players who could make a run to the top 8. I think people would expect BYUN to have a more favored chance. He's a much more consistent player than ASTREA. But ASTREA, the only American representative in the entire tournament out of these 18 players here. And he is a player who has a lot of hopes on his shoulders. And not only that, he finds a double proxy racks outside his main. This is such a cheeky proxy racks location. I guess it's just 2 racks Reaper to put on a little bit of pressure and maybe catch ASTREA sleeping. This is a great start for ASTREA, and BYUN, he pulled an extra SCV down, but realizes, we don't actually need that. That's fine. You're not going to be able to kill anything. Reapers are on the way. Nexus goes down after Cybercore, and we will be seeing, no doubt, probes into a pylon in that main base in the near follow-up. Dude, so proxy double Reaper is not usually something you see against Protoss, and the reason for this is, it's just, is it that good? I don't even know. I don't know. By the way, I feel like I'm not hyping this series up enough. I'm listening to how I'm talking about this, and I'm kind of like calming down. The reason is you guys don't realize how intense this series will be. Every time BYUN and ASTREA play, yes, occasionally in a weekly cup, it's one and done. BYUN just kind of overwhelms him. But ASTREA has been practicing so hard for this tournament, and I'm telling you, he is playing some of the best StarCraft recently. His ability to take a punch, second to none. He plays Rocky Balboa PvT. He will get punched in the chin repeatedly, look like he's about to get knocked out, and he will somehow recover and fight back. And BYUN is a player who gasses out, right? BYUN overcommits to aggression sometimes. Other times, he changes it up, tries to play late game. I know a lot of people get angry at me for saying he's just an all-in. I don't say he's an all-in player. I say he's a momentum-focused player. But they're still like, no, he plays a lot of macro. He tries to play macro. It's not his nature. For a long time, Clem tried to play macro as well. And I got to say, they both looked like they were a duck out of water every time they played macro. This probe hiding really nicely, by the way. Sees it. He didn't notice. He got a glimpse of it for half a second. They look like a duck out of water when they play macro. What I mean by that is sometimes BYUN just sits back for so long that the Protoss can get up a very nice late game when he does try to play macro. And when he tries to play aggressive, BYUN's favorite feature, it's crazy multi-prong. He will pick up his army, boost right past the Protoss army, where if they happen to see it, they could blink on it and just win the game. He'll take that risk every single time he plays PvT. And because of it, he wins games and gets win conditions where other Terran players wouldn't. On the other hand, sometimes BYUN will throw an advantage away, getting to Cavalier. And we saw him already in his previous series in this tournament play stubborn. Like, he played the same style a bunch of times in a TvT, and he got really stubborn with not transitioning off of that style and trying to, force his way to victory. So I think there's always a fine line with an aggressive player between playing good aggressive player, snatching advantages when they present themselves, and overcommitting and finding yourself in the doo-doo. Second gate into Robo Bay. It is a 2-base Robo Colossus build. This is an old school build. It's a very safe build for ASTREA, but it's going to give up a lot of map control. Stalkers and Sentries coming up. Shouldn't be able to kill that Stalker. Good pullback here for ASTREA, but it's free damage. The Stalker can only heal its shields, not its hit points, so that's really nice damage there for BYUN. BYUN's got a Widowmine drop on the way. He is slightly supply blocked, so that medevac is delayed, but the depot will finish up in a moment. Hallucination does see what he's up against as well, and you know what you're up against. You see Widowmines here. You can drag the Widowmine shot onto friendly units sometimes, but hey, you do at least see that Widowmine and know what's going on. Stalker's in position in the main base. ASTREA's got 3 Stalkers, 1 Sentry. He is building an Immortal before going for the Colossus. He needs 300 minerals and 200 gas for the Colossus, so he should be queuing that up right now, and indeed it is. And notice he's been really good at building extra pylons ahead. He's also building a battery on his natural. You can tell ASTREA is expecting BYUN to play hyper aggressive, and he's just basically building insurance. 2 gates, Twilight before 3rd as well. Colossus, this is such a different build order. And if BYUN was expecting a quick third that he could try to cancel or pressure in some way, that's just not going to be the case. Reaper's slowly breaking these rocks. Widowmine drop coming in around the right side. There's a Liberator on the way as well. So BYUN is really trying to find weakness. He's got Marines and tanks building, Liberators coming in, no third barracks, no third command center, no +1 upgrade either, actually. So BYUN's a little gas-starved. His build is not timing out very well. Widowmine drop comes in. Sorry, guys. I wasn't watching for a second there. One Widowmine fires for a single probe. The other one does manage to get away. Reapers are poking around. They aren't going to find anything. One Reaper does go down to the Colossus. There are no Stalkers in that main base right now, but the 3 Stalkers move back into the main, and the third base is on the way for ASTREA. ASTREA has an observer sitting on the pervert pillar. You'll only be able to see that, even the blur of it, when you've got medevacs or other flying units around. And there's a probe down the bottom as well. You can always make a pylon here and then warp in a couple of units across the gap. You can't squeeze a lot in across there, but a few can, and that can be very nice. I already feel like BYUN is having to adjust right now. He's realizing, okay, this is a really weird kind of 2-base style. You need to be very careful to not overcommit, because a 2-base Protoss is going to have more army. More army means more chances to take good fights. He scans the observer, takes it down. Nice move. Reactor going down in the starport. The barracks will swap onto this tech lab. That factory will swap off and build itself a new reactor. BYUN casually going to take a third command center in location. Widowmine drop will come back in right now, and ASTREA easily is going to shut that one down with a bit of micro. Don't go back to mining. Good handling as the Colossus cleans that up. Medevac flies past the army. Will ASTREA shoot it down? Answer is, if he just moves that way, yes, but BYUN gets out of there. Nicely done. BYUN saves the medevac. Liberator gets out for now as well. BYUN's just going to save this for a rainy day. Wait until things are distracting ASTREA and only then come in. So ASTREA's build order choice has successfully changed the pace of this from a frantic, action-packed PvT where BYUN would be favored to a slower pace. The timings are a little different. BYUN's not exactly sure when he should be attacking his opponent. I think this is a really smart build. Shows a lot of great preparation. Now, on the other hand, BYUN's not rushing it. He's just like, fine, I'll just macro. That's cool. You don't really have a macro advantage. You don't have a big worker advantage, so I'm totally fine with this. But ASTREA is going to now go for a Dark Templar drop in the main, and I think he might hit the front with a Colossus charge timing at the same moment. Liberator's still up there. Stalker's still hanging in the back. Probe does see these Reapers move through. That's kind of well-placed probe. And we've got also a double drop moving out that right side. Pylon is ready here to warp in across that gap for counterattacks. Could warp in DTs there as well, remember. Third base is exposed. Uh-oh. ASTREA, he's going to build a fourth there. He doesn't see this. If he loses his third to this double medevac, oh man, he hasn't broken these rocks at all. Oh, that's really bad, guys. If he recalls very quickly, it could be good. He should instantly recall. He should know. You see the scan, it gives away what's happening. He should have recalled already. Where's the recall? A little bit late. A little bit late on the recall. He could have been quicker there. He loses 6 probes and the drop gets out of there. Oh, does it though? Barely gets out. Liberator in the main base at the same time. Grabs itself 2 probes, 3 probes, 4 probes. Will we get a 5th one? Looks like no. The Stalker does get there, but the Liberator quickly pulling back. BYUN pokes in, low risk, gets 10 probes, loses nothing. Beautiful trade as he takes a 4th command center in the middle. There is a new observer on his position. If he scans that and gets rid of it, ASTREA will once again be relatively blind. 2-1 upgrades on the way for ASTREA, whereas 1-1's almost finished for BYUN. BYUN still in 5 racks, 1 factory, 1 starport. I would expect a Ghost Academy to go down. Oh, he's got Ghosts building, so he does have a Ghost Academy. But I would expect a 2nd engineering bay and armory very soon, because once you're going to 4 bases as a Terran, you're embracing the late game, and that's usually what you want to be doing from there. Dark Templar drop getting ready, but there are Vikings in position. I think you need to wait for BYUN to be pushing before you try to punish him with the Dark Templar drop. Oh no. Oh no, ASTREA. Oh, that's so bad. BYUN's going to shut this down. Won't even get the DTs out of there. Viking shuts it down. Prison with 2 Dark Templar inside is toast. 3 observers randomly. There's so many observers out here. Dark Templar is going to run in. Dark Templar warped in on this 3rd base across the gap. Does get 4 SCVs. Dark Templar in the front is going to kill that SCV on the command center and then run away. Nicely done. BYUN doesn't panic scan. He was looking for the EMP there. Blink DT's on the way. Disruptors are building, but it's only off single robo. 8-gate single robo. 4th base is up, though, for ASTREA. Is BYUN giving him too much time? There's a 2nd engineering bay and an armory up now, I believe. There is. Yep, he starts 2-2. He starts ship weapons. BYUN has a big, scary army, but he's kind of turtled up. ASTREA's put him into a very defensive stance on Crimson Court, and one, I kind of wish there was drops hitting this right side. You know, break these rocks, maybe just stim to that side. BYUN is playing so slow and turtly. And I mean, if he goes second Starport Fusion Core, goes for Lib Range right now, I'm okay with it. But if he just chills, and I don't really like it. Ooh, the bio pulls away at the worst possible time. BYUN will not be realizing that this is getting mined away, unless he looks down there right now. One Observer goes down, Dark Templar goes down as well. Nice scan in the middle. BYUN's playing so careful. I don't know if I love it. I feel like I'm always torn when I see a Terran play this defensive, because I'm like, it always feels to me like it just comes down to how good the Terran is compared to the Protoss in late game. If he feels he's the better late game player, this is the perfect way to play. But if it turns out ASTREA is better in the late game engagements, then this is not good for him at all. Dark Templar doing some damage, does get scanned down though. Force field goes down. ASTREA's army is very small. ASTREA's army is very small right now. Yeah, there's a reason why he throws force fields, gets a Viking, and just runs away. Man cannot hold this position right now, but look at this. He's mined it open. Big Zealot DT run by getting ready. I like the way he's spreading his units out, so he's still got a few force fields available, unless EMPs land just perfectly. Probes are mining that open. I think he should hide the Zealots and the DTs a bit further back, because BYUN is now aware fully of what's happening here. And the Zealot DT's running into the army. Okay, quick turnaround for ASTREA. He only loses 2 Zealots, which is good. He's going to dive the middle potentially, but there are tanks supporting that planetary fortress. 3-2 upgrades on the way. ASTREA is taking the upgrade advantage now. Fusion Core coming in. Second Starport's on a reactor. We've got 7 barracks with an 8th one building. A few more tech labs coming up. I mean, BYUN's got a really good setup, right? He's even building 2 more command centers, so he'll have more scans available. There is an observer still on the left. I think ASTREA's done a good job of keeping up some map vision, right? He's got observers over here. The Zealot army coming down the south side. Zealot Colossus. Taking out a few sensor towers is always very valuable. Medivacs, Vikings getting sniped. Oh man, Disruptor flanks from the top right. Only gets a single Marauder. Other Disruptor gets a few Marauders and Marines. A Ghost goes down with a few more Marines there as well. Somehow though, ASTREA didn't focus the Vikings. He didn't focus the Vikings. He lost his Colossus there. The Vikings were super exposed. There was good Disruptor shots and a Guardian Shield, but the lack of Stalker focus fire cost ASTREA big time. If he got rid of those 3 Vikings, he could have kept at least 1, if not 2 Colossus alive, and it could have been game-changing. So there was a few good moves from ASTREA, but also some little mistakes that slipped through. Liberator's still sieged up in the back, ready to come in as well. The Double Forge is now going... It's about to finish 3-3. Oh, actually, no, sorry. He's still getting +3 armor now. So we're on 2-2 against 2-2. Equal upgrades right now. 4 libs building. 2 more orbitals. Or actually, only 1 making. Where's the other command center? Floating out to the left. He's going to make a planetary on that left side. BYUN's playing really slow and turtly. What is ASTREA's answer to the late game? He's got a Stargate. Is he going to go Mothership? What's he going to do? Fleet Beacon. Yeah, he's going to go for Mama. No second Stargate. Maybe Tempest as well. If you go for Tempest, you need Psystorm though. We'll see if ASTREA can hang with BYUN here in the late game. It's a very closed off turtly map. Liberators are going to be a big problem. Widowmines clean up a few of these Zealots. Lib's starting to go down to the Stalkers though. Stalkers doing pretty well. Disruptor shots through the choke points, forcing BYUN very far back. Big Disruptor shots. Ooh, these Disruptor shots landing quite nicely. The last one does get dodged, but ASTREA is making things difficult for BYUN. You got to be careful not to chase too deep into the Terran. Disruptor shot goes out a bit too late, but actually BYUN focuses the wrong Disruptor and does take a big shot to the face. 14 more Zealots warping in. That's right, there are 14 gateways, so there is still a sizable army for Mr. ASTREA. The Fleet Beacon's finished. I think we're going to see Mothership for the recall coming in as the next step. Cloak does help a little bit, but it's really the recall most of all. I find the Mothership's actually really good for tanking Vikings as well, keeping your Colossus alive a bit longer. And since there's no Vikings out right now, swapping back into Colossus could be viable. Mothership does take 89 seconds to build. Dark Templar scouting here. Dude, the Observer positioning is so good. So many Protoss players just don't replace the Observers, and they let the Terran push them. But look at the map control for ASTREA. Dude, he sees everything. BYUN needs to fix this. I don't know if the players have any coaches or anyone else watching, but BYUN needs to fix this after this game. Like, he needs someone to come over in the booth and go, dude, he has map hacks. You gotta build turrets everywhere. You gotta scan this stuff down. You cannot let ASTREA see this much of the map. 7 Disruptors out for ASTREA right now. His army, the core army, is always much weaker than the Terrans. He relies on the Disruptors for their splash damage and the mobility in general of the Stalker Zealot. 3-3 finishes for Protoss. 3-3 is not quite done for Terran. Nice EMPs there. Disruptors should keep BYUN back. BYUN! Sloppy micro. Loses 3 Marauders to that Disruptor shot. Zealots try to come in the top left side, but there was a big army to anticipate them, so he had to run away. Mama's out, guys. Mama is going to come out. He's already rallied it to the top, so I think he's going to try and float it down the left. I think his main army will push the bottom right, pull BYUN's army here, and then he'll recall on top of this base, try to snipe the planetary. If BYUN keeps split half and half, though, that ain't going to work. Diving the middle might actually be the way to do things right now. Dark Templar comes in. He's going to go for the turret before running away. Good positioning by ASTREA. Gets himself a missile turret kill, and he does back away with Blink. Biostims after him. They can chase him. BYUN will find him. Nice scan to clean up that Dark Templar. Another scan goes up here. Doesn't quite see this observer. Army's coming forward. He's going to try and break the rocks is ASTREA. ASTREA's got plasma shields as well as, of course, the Warp Prism speed upgrade on the way. It's already made observer speed this game. Ghost goes down to a disruptor shot. One observer gets sniped by the scan. Disruptor shot comes forward. Doesn't find anything. Next one gets 3 Marauders. BYUN's spreads have not been that effective. Double Lib comes in the right side. Does run into a bunch of cannons that are building, and he does reposition those Liberators. Still a Liberator in the very back that could come in at any moment. Lib range and +2 ship weapons are done. Building armors on the way as well. BYUN is really happy to slow this game down. I've seen a lot of Protoss players look lost in late game recently. ASTREA should be one of the players who knows to make Storm now. If he doesn't add Storm when he's floating this much money, it is a mistake. It is a missing feature, something that he needs to add into his play. Warp Prism gets sniped going into the main. I wouldn't mind Warp Prisms going in, but they should probably come down this left side and maybe try to warp in back here, but there's turrets everywhere. There really isn't a way in for Warp Prisms anymore. Already up on 20 gateways is ASTREA. He makes a Templar Archives right now. The 20 gateways is going to be amazing. Mothership, where is it, guys? Mothership is still down in the bottom right side, ready to recall on this base. That could be effective, but he's going to have to make a play. ASTREA has to start doing some kind of dangerous plays, like jump in, snipe a planetary, recall to the other side, snipe another planetary. It's easier said than done because BYUN's so well set up defensively. He's always got some bio ghost nearby to make it really hard to take that engagement. Tanks and planetaries make this really difficult. 6 SCVs do go down. That's a nice disruptor shot. BYUN's wasted 3 supply on this Liberator is making me unreasonably annoyed right now. I'm like, you need that 3 supply. To be fair, I think he's doing okay. 74 workers is not too many. He can lose a few more workers as he gets more orbitals. He's making backup planetary fortresses. Who the hell makes extra planetaries next to their planetaries, guys? BYUN is so confident in late game. He's just building insurance. Man's taking out insurance in late game TvP against ASTREA, who's normally a very good late game player. That command center does get killed, not cancelled. Blinking forward. Nice moves here for ASTREA. Disruptor shots go out on the left. Can he take out the planetary? He could have taken out that planetary, but he was losing so many units and he was running out of disruptor shots, so probably a wise time to turn around. Mass Stalker warping on that right side. A bunch of cannons go down there. Battery overcharge cannon does kill a few of the Terran units, though. Units lost tab is only 1,000 in favor of BYUN, which is not that massive. Recall into the main! Oh, ASTREA goes for a big old YOLO. Now, this can work really well or really poorly, but he already used the Blink, which means the Liberators are a problem. Using Blink is actually really bad because now he can't get on top of the Liberators. Uh-oh. Oh, no. He's got to get out. I think he needs to just run to the corner and recall, guys. Disruptor shots in the choke points. Take out a bunch of Ghosts and Marauders. He does try to recall, but a lot of these units are going down. Mama's going to try and hide in the corner. He saves some of the units. He does kill a few buildings. Oh, Stalkers are in the front as well. Oh, Stalkers in the front actually getting great value. Guys, look at the units lost. He's still only down 1,000 resources. He recalls to the right, which means even though it looked like a bad fight for ASTREA, he's clearing out Lib's sensor towers and he's going to get the planetary. He turns it to his favor. What looks like a kind of desperate fight. The Libs do kill Mama in the back corner, by the way. What looked like a desperate fight there. He gets a bunch of value out of this. He's on so many Stalkers, and this is dangerous. He should kill that command center, though. 25 hit points. 20 hit points, 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The command center burns down. BYUN should have pulled an SCV. He had time to do it. You can tell he's feeling the pressure right now. 66 workers for BYUN. He's using it to supercharge his army. Meanwhile, ASTREA's on 85. He's only just started Storm. It's these scenarios when your opponent's counterattacking where a random flanking High Templar storming this army can damage the air units so much. It can also whittle down the ground army. ASTREA just gives up the base, which is absolutely the right call. He's got the middle base with mass cannon. He's got +2 air weapons, 2 more Stargates on the way. Carriers would be a nice swap. He's got a lot of money right now. The Libs are here. If he blinks on them, he kills them. If he blinked on that, that's game over. He literally could have just killed all 8 Liberators, but he didn't know there was no support. So he goes to the right side. ASTREA tries to play it safe. And you know what? The fact that BYUN's been clearing out his vision is actually so big. Look at ASTREA's vision. He doesn't have the vision we have anymore. His observers, his pylons have been pushed back. He does have a Dark Templar down the bottom. But this is really nice that BYUN's cleared up a little bit of map vision now. Are there any High Templar on the map? No High Templar. Storm's almost finished. Still 20 gateways. I think that's a good enough count usually. Stalkers could absolutely take these libs out. This would be a huge play right now for ASTREA. BYUN is leaving his libs unguarded. 3 Liberators will go down. Disruptor shot goes forward. Doesn't really find anything. Good trade, though, for ASTREA. Gets in, gets some damage, gets out. He's got to be careful, though. This top left side is not very well defended. Recall is not quite ready. About 5 seconds away. It's almost ready, though, so BYUN wisely backs off. New mothership on the way. And it's a really interesting way to start this series, because I think the way BYUN plays, it makes sense for Crimson Court. It's a very cramped map. If you feel you can just turtle up and win, that's good. But as long as ASTREA keeps him on the initial 5 bases, the investment in all these extra planetaries looks a little questionable. Those Zealots on hold position, kind of just standing there, it looks kind of funny. Stalker, Zealot, DT coming in, trying to chase this down. Dude, if he just shouts, yeah, just snaps the Medivacs, that's the way to do it. Snap the Medivacs, the Stalker's just chasing on top. ASTREA needs to maybe be a little bit more YOLO in some of these scenarios. He's been very clinical, calm, collected. Sometimes you need a little dose of hero, right? Just the crazy, I'm going to jump on you. The question is, how do you judge when to play safe and calculated and when to play the hero style? Because hero throws away a lot of fights by taking bad engagements. ASTREA has not made any of those big mistakes yet, but he's also maybe missing a few of the killer opportunities. It's a fine line in StarCraft 2 and PvT, especially behind or between those choices on when to fight, when to run away. 2 High Templar are now out on this north side. They're defending that northern base. Lots of Stalker Zealot, 6 Disruptors only, which is not that many. There are 14 Liberators on this map. I really feel like we need like 6 High Templar. And ASTREA, I'd like to see him actually lower his worker count a little bit right now. Disruptors going forward. I wouldn't mind Stalkers just blinking onto the cliff and zoning this bio back. Does get himself a good Disruptor shot there. He's got to do something on the other side. Mama's going to recall. Oh, this is a big recall, guys. He's going to recall to the bottom right side. Time Warp is beautiful. The libs are going to go down. Disruptor goes up north. Those 3 ghosts are very exposed. One of them does go down. Mothership does fall really early, though. And you know what? Doesn't really get much value there. That felt like it was actually kind of bad. Those Stalkers run in the middle as well. They kind of die. He's now down 2,000 resources. Oh, BYUN's just going to YOLO. BYUN does take a big Disruptor shot to the face, but he's going to kill so much Protoss, it might very well be worth it. Remember, 3 Tempests are now building, so ASTREA's going to try to go to the Tempest army. And he's got 6 High Templar. They are spread across these bases a little bit. You got to make sure they're spread out a lot, though. Don't just F2 them together. Right now, ASTREA's in a point where his army is very disorganized because he's trying to rebuild everything. Great Storm. Those are the Storms we're talking about. Look at that cannon Storm defense. So many Ghosts going down, Marauders going down, the Liberators taking big damage. He even pushes the entire army back with a Storm and a bunch of cannons and batteries. That is the defense that we are looking for as a Protoss player. BYUN, he's got to secure this base in the top left or the bottom right. He's going to go to the top left. Problem is, Tempest can pick at that. As long as ASTREA keeps spreading these High Templar, right now they're way too exposed. He can do really well. He's got no defense in the bottom right, though. ASTREA, he knows this is down here. Liberator comes in, does kill 5 probes before the cannon kills it. Zealot Stalker coming forward. Disruptor shot goes down, doesn't land. He's got lots of High Templar, but they're way too clumped. Look at the army control of ASTREA. His High Templar are too clumped. A few good AMPs, and this is game over. ASTREA, you got to pull back. You got to be careful with those High Templar, my friend. And remember what we talked about in the middle of the map. Here we go. Recall's going to try to defend. Zealots do defend down there. He's recalled like half of his army, though, just for a few Marauders. And that definitely is something where I feel like BYUN's kind of fragile. Like, if he doesn't get this base, BYUN's mining out. This base is getting real low. This base is almost mined out. This base is almost gone. If BYUN doesn't keep this base, he's dead. ASTREA has a win condition, but he's actually slowed the pace down. And maybe going Tempests is necessary because of the heavy libs, but it might also be a mistake because you're slowing down momentum by going for this very slow long-range unit that picks at your opponent. And it's hard to say if that's going to pay off. It absolutely could. It all comes down to those High Templar staying spread. And right now you can see he's got about 5 High Templar kind of in his army. I like the spread on that one. I like there's another High Templar on that base as well, but look at that. Snipe. Yeah, nice snipe. Nice micro from BYUN. 2 more probes just went down. Range Liberator on that top side being a nuisance. Tempest will go up there. Looks like he just killed a Ghost as well, I believe. Big Zealot DT counterattack's going to hit this third. If he had some Stalkers to deal with the libs, it would be way better. Nice Storm! Oh man, ASTREA's Tempest Storm defense. Killing so many Vikings. The Bio taking big damage as well. BYUN continues to push into it like a mad dog. He takes a big Disruptor shot to the face. ASTREA needs to do a big Zealot warp in or something here. But he doesn't actually have the supply just yet. He's got a massive Zealot DT army on the south. He doesn't have recall available right now. He doesn't have a mothership either, by the way. His army's kind of getting overrun. BYUN is playing a crazy style by just shoving into this. It feels like BYUN's lost patience. He knows he can't sit back against the Tempest army. Zealot DT hits the south side. Tempests are going down. You don't want to lose too many Tempests here. Tempest will eventually pick away at this, but look at how much damage ASTREA is taking on his economy. The Zealot DT comes in, but it's a very unimportant base that they're striking. He needs to get on the production. That's what he's going to go for. If he had some Stalkers to kill the Libs, he could be killing command centers right now, but without the Stalkers, it's going to be a problem. 18 probes go down on ASTREA's side. ASTREA needs to find some extreme efficiency in this game, and whether or not he can find that remains to be seen. The Zealot DT does get in on top. Unfortunately, he's attacking buildings more than actual Marines. Landed Marines and Vikings doing surprisingly well as the army skirmishes in the north side. A few depots will go down, not really important. DT Zealot in the back is going to damage a command center, also not very important. Feels like ASTREA's counterattack didn't do much damage. Meanwhile, Liberator does go down. By the way, BYUN still has that Liberator in the top right of the map that has not been touched. Landed Mule will repair the command center. These depots dying doesn't matter. He's got so many command centers, he's never getting supply blocked unless you kill like 15 plus depots. Marines and Vikings landed will take care of the Zealots. And ASTREA, he's got a lot of Tempests. I would argue way too many, guys. He's already got 7. He's going to 10 Tempests. Problem is, Tempests lose to Vikings. They do nothing versus Marine Ghost. 6 Tempests is usually the maximum you want. The more you get, the more they're just overkilling. All you need is enough to one-shot a Viking or a Lib. Anything past that is going to be incredibly inefficient. But ASTREA is still building Tempests. I massively disagree with it. I think if you've got about 10 High Templar scattered across the map, mass cannon battery, you can maybe make it work. He does not have mass cannon battery. He's got a low economy, and he only has 4 High Templar. I would argue that the army of BYUN should beat him. On the other hand, ASTREA still has more bank to work with. Right now, BYUN's income is probably a bit more stable with his fresh base and the ability to drop mules there, but it's all about the next fight. Like 3k minerals, 600 gas is not a remax. It's all about the next fight. For ASTREA, he wants to pick at you, land storms, slowly drag this out over time. He's leaving High Templar on the top left of this army. 1 High Templar in the army itself. Tempests will get themselves a few kills. Anytime you engage like this, Tempests are amazing. But the Vikings are going to come forward. EMP plus Vikings. Goodbye 2 Tempests. 3 Tempests go down just like that. Stalkers do take out 2 Vikings in revenge. But you saw how fragile the Tempests are. EMP gets rid of 100 shields. And then the 200 hit points goes down very quickly to +3 Vikings. The Vikings do not have armor upgrades. Keep that in mind. Neither do the air. The air only has +1 armor, +3 shields. Massive storm! Massive storm! Oh my lord, that is the sort of move why Terran needs to be so careful moving around the map when they're dealing with a player that has Storm. That is why Storm is so necessary. It makes Terran have to play carefully. DT starts stacking the army. He ain't going to do much. Just forces an EMP out of the Ghost there. Stalkers and Zealots start to clear the turrets in the top left side of the map. Feels like it's starting to look kind of good for ASTREA again, but you got to realize his economy is not great. Fresh base in the middle. Base in the bottom right still has some minerals. Everything else is completely dry. Even these gases are going to run out in a few minutes. Stalkers poking on that left side. The next fight decides everything. As I've been saying, 7 Tempests, 6 High Templar, 5 Disruptors, 23 Stalkers. The meat and potatoes of ASTREA's army does not really exist. But BYUN just rallying SCVs. 6 SCVs, 7 SCVs, a command center in the open. I mean, if you just kill that, that's going to be massive. The High Templar pulls back. Watch out for the storm there, BYUN. And ASTREA can pull this army back. BYUN's looking for the perfect fight. His army's overstimmed. It's damaged right now. It's struggling to heal. He's only got 5 medevacks. This really feels like a great position for ASTREA. But he does need to find a way to kind of just chip away and ensure that BYUN doesn't get this top base. Meanwhile, can you defend the south? Liberator's going to come in. BYUN's trying to bait mistakes out of him. BYUN is desperately trying to bait mistakes out of ASTREA. They're both looking for the other guy to screw up big time. Remember that a big screw up from ASTREA, not having High Templar backing his army, could get him killed. He doesn't have any High Templar backing him up. Where are his High Templar? He's got High Templar in the bottom right. He's only got 1 in his main army here. He needs more High Templar. He's got them scattered nearby. He's got 1 on the high ground there that he could use as a fallback. 5 probes went down. Stalkers in the bottom do end up defending. He's building mass cannon battery there as well. It feels like ASTREA is building more advantages than his opponent. BYUN kind of looks like a little desperate for ASTREA to make an ill-calculated move forward. I got to point out, there's only a High Templar there and 1 in his army. If that High Templar gets EMP'd, yeah, I mean, it takes 2 EMPs because it's got 200, but it's a very limited amount of Storm. A lot of his supplies down the bottom, and a lot of his High Templar are scattered around the bottom of the map as well for ASTREA, which is good for defending his economy, but you know, there are weaknesses to it. Ghosts come forward. Nice cloak on these Ghosts. You need an Observer. The Observer's just a little too far to the right. It's going to pull back there. Army's pulling to the middle for ASTREA. I mean, it feels like ASTREA is closing this out. If you can just get some more harassment in the top to deny that base. BYUN's got one big army here. BYUN has a smaller bank. ASTREA has 20 gateways as well. Mama's here. A big time warp. A big jump on the army. Maybe ASTREA could force a fight. Ghost goes down. Units lost tab 3,000 in favor of BYUN. We're used to the units lost tab looking much better for the Terran player. Nice blink and snipe. Observer up forward saw that Ghost. Does not let him land the spells. Couple of disruptor shots go forward. Gets a Ghost. Doesn't get much else though. Where's the Storm? Great Storm! Great second Storm. BYUN just losing the plot here. Just shoving through 2 Storms. There's more High Templar. And this is just amazing Storms. It feels like BYUN just getting impatient. He doesn't really have a way of finishing the game. He's trying to force a fight, and ASTREA is dismantling him right now. That army is so wounded. The Stalker Zealot here doesn't have any High Templar left, but it seems like there's just enough Protoss. There's just enough Protoss. With another big warp in, the army being so damaged, the Zealot Stalker is going to chase him down. BYUN, I said if you play this style, it's all about how confident you feel in the late game. I think he looked pretty confident, but ASTREA played a style that you need practice against. Mass Cannon Battery Tempest. No one does this anymore. This is very 2016, 2017 when the Tempest had a lot more range. I think it did like 18 range versus air, if memory serves. Was it 18 or was it just 15 versus air and ground? I know it was way longer range. It was a slower, chunkier unit, but we used to do this Cannon Battery Storm stuff all the time in early Legacy of the Void. It's very rare these days. And it's very hard on a small, cramped map like this. It is simply an amazing style for this map. Tempest's picking away here. Ooh, lands on a Marauder and a Ghost there as well. Big disruptor shots landing. I mean, BYUN needs like the most perfect engagement. He's down 40 army supply. And ASTREA is just constantly building insurance. More cannons, more batteries. This top base being denied is a disaster for BYUN. I mean, there's always the dream, right? I mean, ASTREA... some people I've seen in Twitch chat, I would call them haters. They've called him Throwstreya before. I don't think that's a fitting name, but you know, BYUN can clutch it. He can absolutely clutch it. One perfect Terran engagement. It's just like ASTREA's got little mistakes he can make, whereas BYUN can't, right? Look at this defense, dude. 3 High Templar, like 14 cannons and batteries. I love the Lib Harass. He's going to get a few probes, force ASTREA to just pull those probes away. ASTREA is very focused on the middle. Watch out, watch out, watch out! High Templar! High Templar gets EMP. There's no Storm left. He's got to throw disruptors. BYUN's looking for that perfect engage. He's going for it. BYUN's going for it. There's no High Templar here. He needs to bring the High Templar out. That disruptor shot completely misses. ASTREA needs to pull back and bring up the other High Templar. He needs another Storm. Good Storm. Zones a little bit. Gets a feedback on one of the Ghosts. He's got another High Templar right here. BYUN's going too far. He's going too far. Takes a big Storm. What looked like an opportunity, ASTREA backed away, which was absolutely the right call, and just obliterates that army. Chasing too far into Psystorm is always going to get punished. And that's exactly what Psystorm's there to punish. Disruptors can't always cover you against a Terran who just goes crazy and dives, but Storm stops a Terran who dives, does massive damage, and ASTREA wins a very confidence-boosting 32-minute game 1 in this series. Alright. ASTREA looking calm, cool, and methodical. I love the way he opened that game up so safe. Really slowed the pace down, did not let BYUN get going. BYUN, though, in the bottom right side is no doubt on site Delta, going to play a bit more mobile. I don't want him to play 3 command center. I've been very critical of Maru and BYUN for playing 3 command center way too often on this map. This map is very good for 3 racks aggression, really good for dropping in the back of the main while also attacking the third. Look at the distance. I've got to like move my mouse across my friggin' entire table so many times. Look how far away the third is. How are you going to defend this and your main base at the same time? Good luck doing that, ladies and gentlemen. So I really feel like a traditional style for BYUN would be excellent here, yet the last 50 times I've cast him, 38 of those times, number I'm definitely not just making up, he's built a 3rd command center here. So see if he pulls off gas at some point, guys. Oh yeah, he's already taken the gas kind of late, right? Oh no, he goes for a Marine first, okay. So it's going to be a Marine expand. Probe is inside the base. Marine's about to pop. You better get out of here if you want to keep that probe alive. He sees it. Okay, so ASTREA can back away now. Pulls off gas. He's going 3cc. Every single time. Every single time BYUN plays this map, he does this build. Now, the question is, has ASTREA done his homework? Because so often players go, oh, well, he showed this in the last 14 online tournaments he's played, but he wouldn't do that in the $1 million tournament. It's BYUN. Of course he would. BYUN loves doing the same build like over and over and over and over again. It's his favorite way of playing StarCraft. He loves doing it. And there we go. Every single time, guys. Third command center goes up. Site Delta is actually goated because it was made by an awesome dude in our clan, says Brainless. Indeed. Who made this one? Who made Site Delta again? Was this, oh, geez, I forgot. Man, I'm so bad at remembering who made which map. Chronozeo, that's it. Yeah, Chronozeo made this map. It's actually a beautiful map as well. It's really good. I think this map has had some of the best comebacks and like sick action-packed late games. I feel like it's been a very fun map. Because for a map with such big spread and wide open spaces, you'd think it would favor Zerg a lot more than it does, but it actually ends up being like very close. It's one of the even maps that always comes out later on in a series normally. Here in TvP, it's come out pretty early though, so I imagine it was BYUN's pick. He's going second and third barracks after the third command center. That's what he does every time, guys. So the best play against this would be to go immediately for a third nexus. If he goes 2-gate Blink Robo into a third, that'd be great. But if he takes like third and fourth gas, techs up, I mean, that's not too bad. But if he goes like 3-gate Blink or 4-gate Blink, I think it's kind of rough. Technically, 4-gate Blink can beat this build, but you need to micro really perfectly, and it's not a build that ASTREA is very good at. Oh, that's not good. ASTREA has no idea what he's up against. He's building a shield battery, guys. That just shows he has no idea that this is actually the delayed 3 racks. Because remember, a normal 3 racks, shield battery there's a good thing. Not against a third command center into 3 racks. It's going to be at least a minute and a half until the army moves out for BYUN. So that adept is going to go down. He does see more marines coming out, but good placement on these barracks for BYUN. I've been criticized. You guys have heard me say Terrans are so lazy. They build the barracks there where the adept shade can't see it. But then the Protoss can just finish the shade, sacrifice the adept, and see if you're doing 3 racks. BYUN actually hides it far enough back to be really coy, and I like that. Now, interestingly, you'll notice he doesn't have an add-on on the third barracks, which is fascinating. I guess he just wants to get more marines out with stim. He is pausing marine production to focus on SCVs right now, and he should be dropping a mule. This command center has been finished for a while, but he's forgot to drop the mule, which is really weird. He should be dropping 2 mules right now. Yeah, is he saving for scans? Maybe he's saving for scans? I think he's looking for an observer coming in right now. Oh, he wants to scan this observer for sure. Let's look at this from BYUN's point of view. Does he see this? He should be glancing at that front marine. Yeah, he's looking for it. He's looking for it. Where is it, guys? Oh, it's gone out the left. BYUN's looking for it, but he doesn't see it because ASTREA sees the marine and goes around. Let's see if BYUN finds it. He's still looking for that observer. He can't find it. ASTREA sees the third command center and he knows what he's up against. Now, ASTREA's third nexus just started. So economically, ASTREA will be behind in this game. The reason it's not too bad is he is already up to Robo Bay. So he can start a Colossus very early, which is, of course, amazing against a guy whose starport isn't even finished yet. No medevac drops, no Vikings, none of that stuff on this map for a long time. BYUN's going to see that third nexus is quite late. And we're going to see, I would say, it's definitely an economic advantage for BYUN. But you still want to try and pressure with the bio. You don't want to just sit there on that. It's going to go for a 4th and 5th barracks. 4th barrack starts, 5th barrack starts. Factory and starport swapping around. A few stalkers on the front. I love the conservative observer placement for ASTREA. I think he realizes, hey, this is BYUN. He's very good at spotting observers. I can't just put my observers in obvious positions. Oh, look at this. He gets a probe. I reckon he gets 2 probes. Let's see how well he micros. Oh, good micro for ASTREA, but no, not quite enough damage on those probes to stop the marine. Does trade itself for a worker. Super worth. He scans the natural and sees the Colossus tech as well. ASTREA just continues to chrono boost Colossus. He has a little supply block, but no, he isn't. Third nexus finishes right on time. Stalkers in the front do get pushed out. Looks like how many? 1 stalker goes down. Oh, got to get vision of that grass to get out of there. It's always a little dangerous. BYUN pushing forward. His first 2 medevacs are on the map now. They'll be catching up with this army soon. Fighting out here could be really good because you bait BYUN's stims out early. It could also be really bad if you lose the Colossus. This is all about, if you keep the Colossus alive, it's good. If you lose the Colossus, it's really bad. 1 Marauder goes down. Ooh, Force Field, probably not as good as Guardian Shield here. Oh, the Colossus needs to shoot the Marines, not the Marauder. Is he going to run away? Oh, he focuses the medevac. He doesn't quite get it. 2 Colossus here. Oh gosh, he has no meat. ASTREA has no meat. Oh, ASTREA went way too far forward. I think BYUN's going to spiral this. That Colossus, he's got to keep walking, keep walking. stopping the Colossus to shoot, just lost him that Colossus. Big mistake for ASTREA. Doesn't get the full medevac. He does manage to shoot down one of the medevacs though, and with Blink, he should be able to chase down the rest of these Marauders as well. Oh, he's going to go for the medevac, trades the Stalker for that one. Does get that other Marauder as well. Units lost tab, 600 in favor of BYUN. BYUN's up 7 workers. BYUN in a massive position. But keep in mind, his starport count is low. Starport unit count. Only 3 medevacs. So there's always like a chance here that because the Terran has to kind of wait, heal up a little bit, wait for more upgrades and things, maybe ASTREA can find a way. But it feels like a really bad start for him that's only going from bad to worse. He's going to lose at least a Stalker or 2 here. And a Zealot. Warp Prism, nice pickup. Good save, good save, good save. Gotta be careful there. ASTREA was doing the click the Prism on the Stalker micro. If you click the Stalker on the Prism, it'll hop inside, and the Prism keeps moving full speed. But if you tell a Prism that's running away to pick up a Stalker behind it, it will stop moving, and it'll lose its acceleration. Remember, units take a little bit of time. They don't just immediately start moving full speed. Okay, Colossus is there. Widowmine coming forward along with the bio on the left. Prism's ready to go into that main base. There is a turret building to intercept it, though. Good blink back. Nice force fields for ASTREA. Colossus, big volley on the Marines. Big focus fire on the Marines there. I like that play for ASTREA. Prism getting ready with Zealot Warpins to go hit the main base. There's a turret in position, though. He's got to be careful. Zealot's on the right side as well. ASTREA has a 3rd up, but he desperately needs a 4th. It's only now starting, as is his first forge, just finishing up. So it's 6-gate charge plus Colossus. Marines do stim, take out that observer, but they spotted the triple drop pickup. So BYUN immediately unloads. He says, okay, you saw me moving north. I'm just going to regroup, break the rocks, and do a frontal push. Dark Templar walks in. When the heck did he get a Dark Shrine? I do not know. Zealots and DTs running in the south, Zealots in the right, and a Zealot DT drop in the main. Dude, the 3-prong DT this early is so hard to deal with. Dark Templar, but he doesn't have +1 attack, so he can't one-shot SCVs. It takes 2 hits. The SCVs are surviving with 1 hit point. Oh, the +1 armor for BYUN actually saving him like 10 Dark Templar, 10 SCVs to these Dark Templar. He's lost 7, he would have lost like 15, I swear. This one's still doing damage out here, finally getting 8 kills, 9 kills. Can he get a 10th one before he goes down? Yes, he can. Don't think he'll get any more though, as the Zealot goes back in the main, actually kills a few more. Nice moves here for ASTREA. ASTREA doing a good bit of damage. He's still only even on workers. He's not in an amazing position. The scary thing, though, is just the unit count. Look at the army count and the Viking count's growing. Oh, ASTREA's 3rd is dead. I think this might just be game over. BYUN just has the numbers. Colossus, pull back. Oh, one of the Colossus is going to go down. A crazy move with the Marauders, but it pays off. The Marines are very exposed now. There's just not enough meat. If there was like 7 more Zealots here, he could punish BYUN for making such a dangerous engagement by just shoving on top. But ASTREA knows he doesn't have the numbers. He was running in with like a few Zealots as well, but a 4th command center is done there, and he knows he just can't keep up. BYUN pushing through the middle and getting a good economic advantage with that fast 3rd command center. ASTREA was not greedy enough to keep up pace. After losing his first 2 Colossus in the middle, it was game over. He had to keep that tech advantage alive. And like it was all, I'm down on economy, but I have a tech advantage. And I think this fight was just really bad. I think Guardian Shield should have gone down instead of Force Field. I think this Force Field achieved nothing. Guardian Shield there, I think would have been huge, like absolutely massive. And this fight, it's also just before charge finishes, so his Zealots don't do very much. It was before extended Thermal Lance. Essentially, this was just a really bad fight for ASTREA. He should have pulled back, waited for his upgrades. Representing VP against Shopify Rebellion in the bottom left, ASTREA was one of the more recent pickups of VP, just a few months there before the World Championship. And we are going to be seeing the depot going up as well. So it's going to be post-youth. An immediate probe scout can slow down the barracks. This is the main goal. Also force him to build the barracks over here rather than over here. And this just kind of, it's annoying. You know, okay, he builds it there. That's fine. And the probe is just going to trade out shields here as much as possible. Interesting that he's not fighting yet, though. Why is he not fighting? Normally, you'd fight with your shields, and then you'd go for the scout, because it's too early to scout for the second gas. Interesting. Bit of an odd choice for ASTREA, because now that he lets his shields regen, I guess he's just targeting the SCV barracks? What's he doing? Oh, he's just going to harass the minerals. I feel like harassing the SCV is way more effective, because then you can soften up. Like Hero, when he does this build, he'll get like 4 SCVs into orange hit points, and then if he gets an Adept or an Oracle in later, it's so much more effective because of that. I mean, it's not bad. There's still an SCV that has to chase him the whole time, but I do think he's maybe leaving some gains on the table there. A good fight here. He sees that it's only single gas, so he knows it's going to be a 1-rax expand. And it will be a Nexus after Cybercore for ASTREA as well. All right, Probe does a tiny bit more damage. He's going to try and block the command center, but with the Marine coming out, question is, does he want to recall it? I always try to recall my Probe in these scenarios. ASTREA is probably not going to risk it. He could definitely create space between him and the Marine. I don't think the Marine gets a shot if he goes left there. Bad micro for ASTREA. Yeah, if you zig and zag there really well, you should be able to get away from that Marine. Because it's only one Marine, unless he brings another SCV down. He could have gone left and then recalled from behind the mineral line if he wanted to. It's technically slightly more efficient than chrono boosting probes at home. Because you immediately get the probe to start mining on like the second gas or the minerals or something like that. Factory comes up as well as a reactor. Looks tempting to swap that factory on. Cyclones or Hellions, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why. I think he's going to swap this immediately. I can feel it. And that's his first scout, checking that there's no gold base. Yeah, because if you're thinking there's a gold base, you're thinking I might need to build Hellions or Cyclones to punish that. Now that he sees no gold, I guess he's going to change that potential option to just Marines, a Starport, and a Widowmine. Very standard play. Okay, BYUN's going to play really chilled out. Stray has been pretty cool, calm, and collected at defending that stuff so far. Unfortunately, chrono boosting into no probe production. Little mistake there. Adept moves up, gets some good vision. He sees the factory there, and the 2 Marines coming out. Just going to wait until he has enough Marines to absolutely shut down the Adept before he risks taking the fight. Because the Adept otherwise can just trade its shields for hit points, and that's always going to favor the Protoss player. Shades away there. Nexus is saturated. ASTREA is not bothering doubling up on the gold minerals. It's not really min-maxing that quite as much as he could. It's not a huge deal, to be fair. 2 minutes of Pig bashing a probe out there, doing his best. Dude, he ran in circles. Dude, if someone hands me a knife and tells me to go harass my opponent and distract them while they build up, I'm gonna get stabby with it, you know? Will Smith got jiggy with it. I would get stabby with it. He would also get slappy with it, to be fair as well. If we're talking modern Will Smith, 1990s Will Smith was a bit more chilled out, but modern Will Smith, he'd get slappy with it. Anyways, Adepts are going to pull back. Shade's going to go forward. Widowmine drop does sneak out the left side, which is nice. So the Adept, it keeps the Marines at home, but not much else. Oh, Cloaked Banshee. Hello. Cloaked Banshee coming in, factory building a tech lab as well. This SCV is just chilling back here. Interesting. So this natural is very exposed to Banshee harass, as is this right side mineral line. That's why I think Banshee is not a bad idea here. It's also just a good surprise move in general. Ooh, ASTREA, we're moving away at the worst possible time. ASTREA, wake up! Oh my lord! Oh my lordy lord! Okay, ASTREA does. At least he intercepts this one, stops that one from doing anything too powerful. Widowmine gets itself a probe, other one gets a probe. One Widowmine gets saved, but pretty clean handling from ASTREA. Could have been much worse for him. He does have Blink available now. His third Nexus is almost finished, all off 2-gate. So he's actually done third Nexus even before Robo. I love this build, really greedy. But BYUN's going to put the pressure on, and we're going to see if ASTREA can actually hold the front against a Marine tank pressure. Second tank starting, but where's the depot? BYUN hitting supply blocks, leaving this SCV idle as well. Damn, BYUN making a few mistakes here, guys. Siege tank's finally started. He does come forward. The Stalkers see it. One Marine goes down. You got to pick off as many Marines as you can before he gets to your base. Once he's sieged up at your base, things go very bad. Good blink back. I think that's super worth it to not take the tank shot. Just damage the tank a lot and then pull back. Widowmine drop coming into the main base. There is 3 Stalkers here. 2 of them in position. 1 warping in. Oh, he mineral walks to kill it. Nice move for ASTREA. Very slick. Kills the Widowmine before it can fire. Now, he forces BYUN back. BYUN's Banshee comes in. Runs into a shield battery. He can't get anything done. He needs 2 Banshees together. Now, if he keeps the Banshees together, he can keep poking this backside. And I think ASTREA should leave 2 Stalkers and an Observer there. Leaving no Stalkers at home is crazy. Against a guy who, you've seen a Banshee, I mean, you've got to leave a few Stalkers ready with that Observer for when the double come in. Because once 2 Banshees come in, they can one-shot probes. Battery will not help. Banshee going in. That was a sick trick. I never have the balls to do that, says Gravitas. Good. Don't ever do that. 2 Stalkers with an Obs are ready, but bad timing on pulling these probes forward. Unfortunate for ASTREA. Banshees find 4 easy kills there. Siege tank just got picked off by the Immortal Stalker ambush. Guys, feels like BYUN's floundering a little bit. His third command center is now going down on location. I think he's backing away from the hyper-aggressive plan. He's making stim, shields, starport lands on the reactor, 4th and 5th barracks come up. Looks like BYUN's going to go to a more standard play. But ASTREA should be able to get into Colossus, charge, and upgrades way more comfortably than in the previous games. Yeah, if you guys try the stacking probes to kill the Widowmine trick, it's inviting death into your base. You only do it if the Widowmine's very damaged or you react incredibly quickly. Like if you have a bunch of fighting units there, there's just one Widowmine, and you're attacking it before it even starts burrowing kind of thing, yeah, sure. But it should always be the exception. It should never be your default reaction, right? Take some advanced pattern recognition to realize when you can pull off moves like that. So far the probe count, 11 probes dying is not bad, but overall units lost seems pretty good. Banshee flies through. So both Banshees have now died. There is a 6 Marine, 1 Marauder drop going to the back, but with a shield battery and a few Stalkers ready, all you need is a few Warp-ins and that'll get shut down. That being said, ASTREA is about to hit a supply block. He's on 4 gases, 3 mineral lines, Dark Shrine and a few pylons go down. He does need a 4th base and he's thinking about that Gold Nexus. The Gold Nexus is very hard to defend, but the payoff is rather large. Observer sees the Bio army coming forward. He also sees the army in the back, but he's only got 1 Stalker there. Okay, he sends a Colossus back. Probably needs the Colossus on the front line, to be fair. Marauder unloads. Stalker and battery shuts it down. Colossus, Stalker, sentry on the front as well. The blink forward like that, it's a little dangerous. It's nice because it allows your units to attack, but it does potentially cost your Stalkers getting focused down. Hallucination for ASTREA sees a very normal setup. He knows about the 3rd base being landed. He kind of gets a feeling for where this game's at, and he realizes, you know what, let's get a Prism, let's get aggressive. He's been relying on that Dark Templar drop in the back pretty much every game. And unless BYUN starts building, turrets and leaving Vikings in the back every game, he's going to struggle with it. Much earlier double upgrades for BYUN this time. I think BYUN realizes the early game didn't go his way. So rather than leaning into like a 1-1 ghost timing, he's kind of playing a bit more like, okay, I'll just go for a high-risk drop on the left, which, by the way, gets spotted. Should be an easy cleanup. The army gets scanned. BYUN continuing to commit forwards while scanning the army pulled back would have been an insane move. And I mean that in a bad way. Like, I mean stupid. But BYUN, he does turn around. He boosted forward, so he thought about it. He was like, nah, let's not throw my entire army away. And he turns around. Because I was like, dude, if he drops into that, when you have a scan, seeing the entire Protoss army already moving to intercept, it's like, no, don't do this, BYUN, please. Sensor tower on the backside. 2 DTs are going to run in the front. Prism is ready to drop in the back. I think ASTREA, to really make these DTs pop, you need to engage the army at the same time. But because he's kind of not got as much map vision, I guess he feels a little iffy. I'd love to see this army engage the army. If he jumps on BYUN's drop on the left at the same time, it'll be huge. DTs run in. +1 armor's seconds away from finishing, but it's not ready, guys. And he's got +1 attack anyway, so it wouldn't matter. BYUN attacks his own SCV there with a misclick. 10 SCVs have already gone down. DT in the main goes down. Nice worker pull on the inside natural, but already 16 workers. DT. Oh, that scan runs out. BYUN with a miss micro. Oh, it's disastrous, Miss Micro. He finally kills the one in the natural. The fact that he attacked the SCV rather than A-moving on the ground like he meant to means this DT survived way longer than it should have. Luckily for him, ASTREA didn't keep targeting, but still, 20 worker kills. That is a disaster for the Terran. BYUN has to lick his wounds, rebuild workers non-stop, and try to squeeze a 4th command center in. This is the sort of the game where you turtle until you recover. You cannot... I mean, you can maybe go with your army right... Your army stills... Or you go hard right now. He's... Okay. I mean, that could work. He's up 15 army supply. 1-1 upgrades against +1. The double disruptor production's on the way, but it ain't ready yet. There are only 1 disruptor on the map. He's already stimmed, though. Stimming your whole army for 1 or 2 zealot kills, not really effective. I mean, it's not terrible, the first one, but then the second stim and the third stim start to really add up, right? That's why we criticize these plays. Colossus Stalker coming forward. Great move for ASTREA to hunt down this army. But BYUN pulls back, and ASTREA has to pull back as well. And BYUN did not panic stim the Northern Army, which is the big move. ASTREA needs to pull back now. ASTREA's moving out into the open. Like, that's a huge... You gotta pull back. I get you've got force fields, and there's no ghosts on you just yet, but if these ghosts land some good EMPs, you could be in big doo-doo. Speaking of big doo-doo, good dodge at the last second. 7 units go down to those 2 disruptor shots, but it could have been a lot worse. BYUN does avoid the worst part of it, but he's still bleeding out some units as the observers see everything he's up to. DT is working on the rally point right now, being a big old nuisance. BYUN pulls his entire army back, but that means you're delaying your army, you're losing Marines, you're having to use a scan. It's a great trade for Mr. ASTREA. ASTREA's got 3-2 upgrades started versus +2 armor almost finished. BYUN has still not started that 4th command center. It's only now just gone down on the gold base. He's going to doom drop the left again. Yet again, guys, he's playing high risk, high reward StarCraft. He is going to unload, thankfully. But ASTREA is already moving in that direction. BYUN does not know that he's moving in that direction. We're on BYUN's camera. Let's watch this from his view for a few seconds. He could set up a surround, but his army in the north is getting caught. Oh, the medevacs. He's going to dive that right side. Let's go back to everyone's view. BYUN's view is going to be a bit too shaky. 3 medevacs do survive, and they start to fly in the back. Recall for ASTREA, maybe a little preemptive. I wouldn't have minded him waiting. I guess he just doesn't want to let the units unload in his base, so fair enough. There are 5 disruptors out, 6th one building. We've got another base on the way. ASTREA has this game in the bag. If he can just find a way to lean on BYUN, BYUN does not have the money to keep up. If you can just start trading with him, Prism in the back, warp in 10 Zealots, like any of this sort of stuff could be deadly. If he warps in, he's got 10 gates, 10 Zealots in the back, and attacks the gold at the same time. I do not see BYUN being able to defend that. But every second he waits, ASTREA is maxed out, BYUN is not, and there is the chance of this other army flanking him. He has to be really aggressive here, otherwise he's setting up a surround on himself. Yeah, pulling north, he can't pull to the side. Can't let himself get surrounded. ASTREA is not really finding a way to trade. He is getting up to 22 gateways though. 10 more gateways are in production. 1 disruptor in the open. Disruptors do fly forward. Couple good disruptor shots land. Couple great disruptor shots. The Colossus on move command. The Colossus were on move command. He completely forgot extended thermal lance. No, he had it. It was definitely a move command. The Stalkers blinked to the left. A terrible fight for ASTREA. That was an awful engagement. Oh no, and now look at his production. It's all on the front. Oh, he ran out of space in his main base. His production's being kind of chaotically built. He loses a robo in 3 gateways immediately, which means he's only got 1 robo producing. Dude, ASTREA, an awful engagement. He was so far ahead in this game, but he takes one of the worst possible fights with the move command on the Colossus. The Stalker's blinking on the left. He's going to try and defend here. The Stalker's Zealot's coming forward. He's got so much more production, but 75 worker economy versus 60. I don't know if it's enough if the buyer... I mean, there's only 1 medevac, though. The medevac goes down. I think he can hold. I think he can hold now. There's 4 more medevacs out. He holds on. ASTREA survives. He's got to rebuild his robo, though. Okay, he's got a 2nd robo still. It was a 3rd robo. Now it's a 2nd robo. He still has his robos. He's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is his 6th base. He has 6 bases up. But BYUN has a gold. ASTREA cannot afford any more fights like that last one. That last one was a disaster. ASTREA's up in upgrades right now. This army's also very overstimmed. And I think ASTREA can take this fight against the overstimmed army, maybe? He's going to blink forward. If he gets rid of the medevacs, that'd be huge. The Stalkers take some big damage. His army's just a little disjointed. And as BYUN now is up to 6 medevacs with 2 more building, he's doing pretty well. ASTREA sees his entire army pick up. That's the classic BYUN move I've been talking about, where he'll pick up his whole army just outside of your vision and hope you don't notice it. He's such a crazy guy. He's going to try and go to that top left. Observers and Dark Templar spot him coming. Now, BYUN does not have a 4th command center. He does have +3 armor coming in to round out his 3/3 upgrades. There are plenty of Stalkers and cannons here. A blink forward could absolutely shut this down. If he goes for it, he's actually a crazy person. And BYUN, oh, I can't believe he didn't lose a medevac for that. He saw the cannons and realized, you think this is so well defended, I can just boost around the top and drop anyway? But ASTREA was there with the Stalkers and ready for it. No Storm in this game, no Tempest, none of those fancy tools for ASTREA, but 6 bases against 4 is usually pretty good. Especially, it's only an orbital on the gold base. But ASTREA hasn't found a way to get a Prism in the back since forever. His Prism's just been idle. He seems to have forgotten about it in the bottom. And it does feel to me a little bit like ASTREA with such a high work account needs to be trading with BYUN. Like, the more scrappy small fights, the better. BYUN's floating this base out. Dark Templar Harass is going to be really good, picking off a few SCVs down there. Like, this sort of move is very good for him. Bio comes forward on the right, finds himself a Disruptor, and a Cannon and a Battery go down. Widow Mines will get some nice shots on these Zealots. Ghost does go down. Great Widow Mine shots, but a recall. Half the army recalls to the right side, ready to flank this. Problem, that means your recall's gone for the next 2 minutes, so you got to be extra careful as ASTREA. ASTREA's been winning this game from start to finish, but after that incredibly bad fight earlier, I am very worried for him. It kind of feels like he's lost his mojo in this game, if that makes sense. He's down 5,000 resources. He's just running around in a big clump, but he's not really finding good fights. He's going to dive. Okay, this is going to get really weird. Bio on the right. Bio coming in from the top left as well. Couple of Disruptor shots go out. Take out a few Ghosts. He's got to save his Disruptor shots. The Orbital should get focused down. Oh, no. BYUN doesn't go for the sandwich. He goes for the counterattack. He's going to take out a Nexus and 20 probes. I actually think that's good for ASTREA because he can replace that with army. Trading a base for a base is always going to favor the guy who's up 2 bases. So ASTREA's feeling really good there. Takes a Nexus on the left. He's got Plasma Shields on the way. He's +3 armors. Just finishing, so the upgrades will be tied up. Stalker Zealot will be able to clean that Marine ball up. This got Bio Ghost here. Zealots, not really spreading his Zealots at all against the Widow Mines today. That's one thing Astraea is missing. One of those clean little details that could help out. Quad drop in the south, insta-kills a Nexus. Nice move for BYUN. BYUN fighting his way back into this game from behind. He's been on the ropes for a while, but he's rope-a-doping it, and Astraea's looking just slightly hesitant in his play. It's still 1 or 2 good disruptor shots from Astraea just winning this game, but without Psystorm, and the way BYUN's moving around this army, he would get wrecked by Psystorm. The fact that Astraea has this much vision, like, it would destroy. But because BYUN's movement's getting in big value, Mass Cannon Battery getting killed without cancels, few Stalks and Disruptors come back, he just dives. Oh, that one was not a good dive. He takes some pretty big Disruptor shots to the face. Those Stalkers will pull away, but he does get good value on the Nexus. Zealots come in with the DTs. They do deny that base there. He leaves a Dark Templar to stop the Orbital from landing. I mean, it's good that Astraea is trading, but you got to realize now his income's down to 54 workers. He's lost 48 probes this game to the 38 SCVs that went down for Terran. Terran has mules. Right now, Terran's economy is better, even though he's only got 3 orbitals. And that's a weird thing to say. Obviously, it's also about securing new expansion locations, but BYUN's got that new 5th base location up. Astraea's only mining his initial 5 right now. Stalker blink forward is massive, though. The more units he picks off, the better. Disruptor shot does not land. BYUN with some very good micro. Marine Marauder on the right side, picking off some Stalkers. Disruptor shots not able to land on much. Oh, that one not going down. The Disruptors aren't landing. Oh my lord, this is a disaster for Astraea, I think. But wait, the Zealot TT, does it do okay? The Disruptors got wrecked. I think this is a perfect fight for BYUN. I think this is exactly what he needed. Coming in from both sides, no Disruptor shots landing, and smashing through the Stalker Disruptor. A disaster of an engagement from Astraea. Exactly the sort of fight you never ever want that with a Stalker Disruptor army. Like 3 or 4 Disruptors died before their shots went off. The Terran came in pre-spread from 2 to 3 sides. So the Disruptors were near worthless. The Stalkers are never good in a direct big fight. And BYUN is now 10,000 resources ahead in the units lost. He has schooled Astraea with movement on Post-Tooth, and it's all come to the way he has split his army and moved around the map. Astraea has had the vision advantage all game. The fact that Astraea wasn't able to secure the victory here, I mean, his game 1 was so confidence boosting, but now here in game 3, it feels like Astraea has lost his mojo. He's had so many advantages, and he's let them slip through his fingers, beyond gritting his teeth and finding a way to win a game, which I am sure he thinks he should have lost this game. I'm sure he thinks, man, I thought I was dead. I was just, you know, I was like, maybe my opponent screws up and I play perfectly, and it seemed like that very rare combo did come true. Clicks the Nexus, gets it down. Bio in the top rallying into that base as well is going to find Astraea's last bastion of economy, and it will be going down. The Marine Marauder Ghost up here, EMP and these Stalkers gunning him down. Oh my gosh, BYUN takes a big ball to the face. But it doesn't matter. He's already ruined Astraea's economy. That 44 worker economy with mules might not be great, but when you trade over 10,000 resources more efficient than your opponent, you don't need a great economy. Like, Astraea had an economic advantage, but not enough to make up for an 11,000 resource deficit. This was incredibly sloppy. For Astraea, he's going to be kicking himself for throwing away such a big advantage. I wouldn't count him out just yet in the series. In this game, I would. He's dead, guys. Dead man walking right now. You know when the turn just moves forward like that, clicks on the Colossus, that it's over. And BYUN does take a 2-1 advantage. All right, guys. I've got that scoreboard the wrong way around, don't I? BYUN is up 2-1 right now, going for a double gas in game 4. Can he get the 3-1 victory? If I was commentating purely superstitiously and based off the human emotion, guys... Ooh, 19 Nexus before Cybercore. I'll talk about this build in a sec. If I was commentating off my superstitions, my feelings, my worries for my friend Max Angel, I would say he's shaken and he's going to mess up now because he's screwed up. Like, this is just not good. You know, that last game was a bit of a throw. He'll be kicking himself for it. And it's a big test for him. Can he rally mentally? Because there's part of me that just feels like BYUN's just going to doom drop him and he's going to, like, not see it in time and he's just going to die in the first 8 minutes of this game. And that would be so sad as a way for his run in the group stage to finish. I mean, you're still going to always have a chance in the knockout bracket, but that would just be obviously very upsetting for myself, for the Astraea fans, and especially for him as a player. Now, with this build, guys, you go 19 Nexus, 19 Cybercore, no Scout. So if you're happy to skip the Probe Scout, be greedy on that, you cut just 1 worker. That saves you 50 minerals. Not Scouting saves you another 100 minerals. So you can go Nexus and then still afford the Cybercore, and it's only delayed like 1 or 2 seconds from going Cybercore before Nexus. So even if a Reaper was arriving right now, the Adept would be ready in time. And you notice he's just hiding his probes here in case a Reaper comes in, and he'll send those down to the natural right now. Technically, you could mine a few more minerals in your main on these further away patches, but it's a little finicky to micro. So he's just like, yeah, well, whatever, keep it clean, keep it organized. Now, the problem is he's playing against a reacted Reaper Hellion. Now, this is a massive YOLO for BYUN. You can't even afford a starport because you're spending 100 minerals and 100 gas on each pair of Reapers, and it's an incredible early game focus. He's got to get out of there. Good snap recall. He'll keep it alive, but he's going to almost die. Oh my gosh, I thought he would survive with 30 hit points. He survived with 7. That's a disaster. That's half of his early damage output, and he's only just started another Stalker. Oh no. Okay, 2 Reaper Hellions, already a problem. He has to pull the Adept to the high ground. Pull the Adept back, pull the Adept back. Get the Adept out of there. Do not take damage with that Adept. Oh, it's only going to get 1 hit off. He should have pulled the Adept to the high ground, in my opinion. Kept it as a sort of backup unit there. And he's now going to lose 2 probes. Stalker is there. New Stalker ain't ready yet. Uh-oh. He's going to lose at least 3 probes here. The Reapers will sacrifice themselves. Probes could have killed that. I don't think he should get any more. And the 2 Stalkers will clean up 3 probes only. Actually, wait. Battery could run out of energy here. Can BYUN get through? Throws the zoning grenade to try to keep the Stalkers away. Very cute. Stalkers back away and dodge though. And battery overcharge just to make sure that probe doesn't go down. I mean, all you got there was the battery overcharge of the second wave. All things considered, that was actually a really good hold for ASTREA. Looked like it was going to get out of control, but it didn't. He's now on the Robo. He's on only 1 gate. The second gate's incredibly late. We've got Cyclone Marine coming. Oh, gosh. Ooh, this could get very nasty. ASTREA will not have battery overcharge for another 30 seconds. And that is definitely potentially an issue. I mean, actually, it's like 35 seconds from now. So it's miles away. Second and third barracks on the way. Factory as well. No starport. He may just follow this up with a big all-in. We may see a 2-gas, no starport, Marine Marauder tank all-in. It's a very good build. Now, BYUN does not risk going into the battery because he knows with just a Cyclone, Hellion, a Reaper, he can't fight it. He was just looking to catch a fast third attempt and kill any probes that were exposed. For now, he's going to back off. BYUN, what you want to look for is, does he skip Marine production or SCV production? Right now, he's skipping Marine production and he's lifting the factory. That tells us he's prioritizing non-stop workers. He's now going engineering bay. We expect a 3rd gas and a starport will go down up here and a reactor there in the near future. So this tells us he's playing a longer game plan. Whereas if BYUN was non-stop army units, Marines, tanks, Marauders, and he was skipping SCVs every now and then, that would mean he's going for the big all-in. This is a small thing you can always look for when you're watching a replay as to a player's intentions. Notice he's not queuing up Marines. Why? He's spending money on starport, SCVs, stim, +1. So BYUN is purposely cutting unit production because you can't really afford everything as a Terran. This is something when you're first starting as a Terran player, your builds usually are very basic, where you're just constantly building workers and army and workers and army. And as a result, a lot of your upgrades and extra production and things and extra expansions just end up a lot later than they would be. Whereas as you get higher level, once you're in, say, High Plat or maybe Diamond League, you start to make this more distinctive choice between, you know what, I'm going to focus on upgrades and economy and focus on being in a really good spot 3 minutes from now because I'm playing a macro game. Or, you know what, I'm going for a big all-in. I'm going to skip the occasional SCV, have non-stop army production, be happy to delay some upgrades if I need to, because I just want to have as big an army as possible. And that's the sort of decision-making that really gives a sharp edge to a Terran build, rather than it just being a sort of, I'm just doing some random things. Probe does go down. I like that. Scouts the 3rd, gets the probe, runs away. Good move. Storm's on the way, guys. Ooh, 6-gate Storm. I love Storm charge as a style. We haven't seen it yet in this series. And you guys know I'm obsessed with Storm in the late game. But I think just mixing in a Storm drop charge lot style, it has the most explosive potential. It has the most sudden winning possibilities. Whereas Disruptors and Colossus, it's much harder to just get a good fight when your opponent's like not looking for a second and win the game. So it has more win condition potential, and that's something I always appreciate. If Dark played PvT, I guarantee you he'd play Storm drop all the time. We know Hero does it a lot. Stalkers going for the tanks. Let's go. Does blink away as well. Double drop going in towards the main base. ASTREA, he has some vision out there, but he hasn't seen it. His army's way out of position in the top left of the map. The double drop comes in, and ASTREA does not have recall energy available. This is a disaster. BYUN may be getting that 3-1 victory right here, right now. So many probes go down in the main. He can take out the Artosis pylon as well. Oh no, Zealot counterattack comes in. Maybe that can do some big counter damage to make things acceptable. Storm is done. He does pick up and leave, which is a wise call. If he stayed in fort, the storm would have ruined him. The entire bio army is coming back. Zealots are going after this bunker. He needs to focus the SCVs. ASTREA is in chaos right now, guys. He took massive damage. His Zealots are wasting time attacking the bunker. He should be killing the SCVs. If he gets the kill, it might be worth, but he should have killed like 10 SCVs here. Instead, he's going to get 4 or 5, which is nowhere near as effective. Good focus fire at the tail end of it. But 5 SCVs, not as good as it could have been for sure. He's back mining the main. Finally, the Artosis pylon is being rebuilt, but that is not covering the Twilight. Then again, he doesn't really need the Twilight Council to be powered anymore, since he won't be making upgrades for it. Third base is saturated, natural saturated. He just needs to resaturate the gases in the main, and ASTREA does at least have a worker advantage. His army, 3 High Templar, an Immortal, 16 Stalkers, no Warp Prism! God, he's making an Immortal! He needs to make a Warp Prism, mate. Oh my gosh! Well, ouch, that hurts. Okay, BYUN throws away a few Marines into Psystorm, attacking on the ledge there, getting a little cheeky. He did kill... Oh, he didn't kill an Immortal. I thought he got an Immortal there, apparently not. The Immortal did move out to the front. Few Widow Mines waiting on that left side to anticipate the next Zealot run by. 4th Nexus on the way for ASTREA. ASTREA has taken a few punches in this game, but he's recovered a little. He's only on 6 gates, so he's just now going 8 gates. On the other hand, BYUN's going 5 racks. Ghost Academy. We are not going to be seeing a fast 4th command center, I don't think. I think BYUN's going to commit pretty hard to the 1-1 timing. Ooh, feedbacks on the Medivacs. Big storm on the bio. BYUN, I think if anything's going to convince him to drop a 4th command center, it's engagements like that. But now he's got to stop to let his army heal. Wait for that 4th and 5th barracks to kick in. You know, get your tech lab react. Yeah, I think after that, he's probably going to refocus on economy a little bit. SCVs queue up. Observer sees a lot of what he's doing right now. But he scans it. Nice scan. Denying ASTREA's vision is big. Vikings are building. Still no sign of 2nd Engineering Bay, Armory, and 4th Command Center. Those are the late game transition things. And BYUN, is he going to commit hard to the aggression, or do we go for them? The gas is going down, tells us he's going to go for them. Yeah. Otherwise, he'd stay a bit heavier on, because he's already got 700 gas in the bank. This is him thinking way in the future into mass like Viking, Ghost, 2-2, range libs potentially, all that sort of stuff. If he plays a long enough game, he'll eventually be able to use it. ASTREA's got Zealots in the top left. He's got High Templar there. Thinks about Side Storming, doesn't end up going for it. Stalker Zealots there as well. Stalkers take out a Marauder. The drop in the main could ruin him. He's only got... Oh, he's got Storm, though. Storm, that explosive payload is so good. Or we might sandwich himself. BYUN, the army north is just up there. It's coming back down to deal with this. You got to be careful, mate. If he can attack the top left at the same time, though, he might be able to get some big value. Equal army supply on both sides. 1-1 upgrade advantage goes to BYUN. BYUN moving into the natural. He's going to attack the top left at the same time. He's looking for the big mistakes from ASTREA. ASTREA lands a first Great Storm, second one not so good. He pounces on this army really nicely, but he takes a lot of damage up the top. Storm does hold back the advance. Second Storm not as effective. Mass Zealot warp in does come in. The battery overcharge goes down. The Widow Mines have already fired. He defends the top left while jumping on the army in the middle. A resounding success on both fronts. The fact that he survives in the top left, keeps the Nexus up while crushing the army in the middle, that's all we need to know. He chased down every single medevac. He got 4 medevacs, so many Marauders and Marines, and now he's got a second Robo Bay, more High Templar coming in. The Stalker Zealot derping, a bit of a misclick here, and ASTREA realizing whoopsie daisy, has to pull those Stalkers back. Zealots will recall from the third base mineral line as well. Where's BYUN's 4th command center, guys? It's floating out to the left. He does have 2-2 upgrades on the way now, but he took a massive series of losses in the army. He's down 2,000 in the trading. And of course, ASTREA is going to move forward and deny this base in the top left. Stalkers could kill the command center. If he gets command center, it's game over. High Templar with the feedbacks. Does feedback all but one of the ghosts. He's still got more High Templar in reserve. I love the feedback usage from ASTREA. He's been really good on that. Did the command center go down? Oh my god, it did. 10 SCVs in a command center. BYUN he's just got nothing going for him now. And ASTREA, did he come forward and mine this open? I think he mined this open, guys. He opened a hole for Zealots to trickle into this third base. Unfortunately, the focus fire didn't quite work as the SCVs kind of managed to move away from the Zealot. More Zealots warping on that right side. Double Colossus on the way for ASTREA. BYUN, he's rebuilding his 4th command center from scratch, but honestly, this is the sort of game where you're really hoping ASTREA just screws the pooch. You're like, please throw your army away. Let me land the perfect EMPs, of which he has none available anymore. He uses 1 EMP on the Stalkers, but that's all. Zealots in the third, Zealots in the natural, and the Warp Prism's hitting the main at the same time, guys. The Warp Prism's going to unload in that main base. This is so deadly. Mass Zealot warping at the same time. ASTREA's going to shove the front, of course. And there's still just such a big problem for BYUN. He's got a handful of Bio trying to defend an onslaught of Protoss. Stalkers, High Templar, Immortals coming forward. And BYUN just has to tap out. Just too overwhelmed there. ASTREA with some lovely storms. It looked really scary when that Artosis pylon went down in the main. But despite that, it was really good. The moment he jumped on this army on the south side and barely defended the top with Storm Cannon Battery. We always talk about how Storm Cannon Battery is like the most efficient defense against Terran Bio. You know, everything else struggles, but you add a few Storms, a few Cannons and Batteries, and you can always hold. ASTREA is going to get to game 5. All right. It's going to get all decided here. BYUN in the top left side of the map. Shopify Rebellion's BYUN on Oceanborn, going for a 1-Rax expand with no scout. He's up against ASTREA, who's going core into Nexus. Looks like he's going to go for a little Zealot pokey poke. Interesting. No scout for him either, which I think is fair enough. It's very rare for a player to, especially BYUN in like a game 5, to pull out a crazy cheese. BYUN is a, you know, he's a somewhat standard player. He has a more normal range of builds. There are other players I'd be a bit more worried about. I did a half Ironman last weekend. Good luck at the marathon, says Henry. Oh, well done, dude. Half Ironman. Is Ironman's kind of like a triathlon, right? It's like a... pretty similar. Exhausting. Step coming forward. Let's go. Oh, Reaper's going to go down. No, it's not. ASTREA does not commit. Next Adept should be able to kill it if it goes in, so BYUN does wisely back away. Oh, gotta be careful, mate. Oh, BYUN. Almost loses it. Zealot does go in. It's a Marauder opening. Oh, I hate this Marauder build. I don't really like the Marauder builds. I do feel like it lacks a lot of oomph. It's not really my favorite, but BYUN, he's a big fan of mixing this into his play, and occasionally he will catch a few units and get big value off it. But here's an example of, in my opinion, the weakness of it is just the low damage output of the Marauder. Even when you catch the enemy units like this, you know, Marauder's ready, your opponent attacks into you. ASTREA, okay, he does micro the shade away. It's just not my favorite build order, personally. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I've always felt like every time I look at a Marauder opening, it feels like, ugh. It's the only way I can describe it. It just feels like it has such low damage potential, like the single defensive Marauder. Double proxy Marauder, I like that. That's a big commitment, but it can pay off big time. Dark Templar opening for ASTREA. He's going to go 2-gate. Prism after, so Robo after the Dark Shrine. That means the Prism will not be ready to warp in the first DT. So I think he's just going to warp in, run in with the first DTs, and then follow up with the drop. Adept's trying to take out the Marauder. Oh, okay. Both sides barely survive. The Marauder ain't going to be healing for a long time, though. Stalker and 2 Adepts still hanging out in the front. Marauder comes forward. There is a pylon almost finished in position. Dark Shrine 30 seconds out from finishing. 2 Adepts going to shade in towards the natural. Remember, there is a Widow Mine there. The Marauder's out in the open. Could get jumped on by this Adept Stalker team. But for now, BYUN is lucky. Because if those Adepts and Stalkers went in and killed the Marauder, be a 3v1, they'd easily kill the other Marauder. And then what have you got? 2 Marines have just popped out. Not very comfortable for BYUN. BYUN's going to go for a quick engineering bay here off 2 barracks, while gearing up for a Widow Mine drop. ASTREA, on the other hand, Chronos is Warp Prism. Dark Shrine is now finishing. And we should be seeing those Dark Templar warping in on the front. ASTREA is a little light on minerals and gas right now. First, a DT should be warping in. Okay, there we go. It's a little delayed. Does warp in now, though. Remember, there's no Raven in this game. No Raven. Engineering bay is just finished. BYUN has 36 energy in the main, 50 in the natural. Let's keep an eye on that natural energy. We're going to keep that one selected. If he drops that mule before this DT comes in, that could be a problem. Marine spots it, but he's not looking. His screen is not here. You can see his screen's on the other side of the map, looking at his own Widow Mine drop. Oh, I mean, ASTREA's not running in with the DT. ASTREA's not running in with the DT. I don't know if he misclicked it or what, guys. Widow Mines come in, get 2 kills. Stalker's going to go down. Okay, he's going to go for a 3rd Widow Mine in the natural. Dark Templar just not going in right now. Finally, it goes in. Okay, he finally starts to do some damage. Widow Mine in the natural, though, could be a boom boom. Oh, beautiful split there from ASTREA. Really good handling. Drops a Dark Templar in the main as well. Does force the scan out. He's going to try and warp another Dark Templar in. Good cancel on the warp in, though. 1 DT goes down, but so does the scan. I don't know about the scan on the natural, guys. That Dark Templar... Okay, the other units will come down. He does barely get rid of it in time. 2 more Dark Templar about to run in the natural. Prism not too far behind it. 5 SCVs have gone down. BYUN's in trouble right now. He's not building a Raven. He's trying to just build turrets and deal with it with the scans. I think that makes sense because he does need medevacs. Oh, Marines go after the Warp Prism. Marauders don't shoot up. Scan does go down. And 1 Dark Templar gets focused. So that's a good job. If you chase the Prism away, then you scan, you can actually kill the Dark Templar. 3rd Nexus is on the way for ASTREA. He's on how many gateways? Just 2. Oof, that doesn't feel good. He's going to go for another Dark Templar, drop in the main. BYUN should be ready for it, but he's not right now. He's trying to... I mean, he should really swap over to the Tech Lab, build a Raven, and then swap back. If your opponent's being this annoying, it is worth it. Scan goes in. Oh, ASTREA's a little slow. Doesn't manage to save that one. So, not the perfect control from ASTREA. BYUN does manage to put out these fires for now. Literally as well, since the SCVs are repairing that depot. We've got 2 more gateways, 4 gates, RoboBay coming in as well. Okay, 3rd Nexus is up. Check it out. 3rd Nexus is there. 53 probes, 3 more gateways are on the way. Stalkers are going to move around. Prism is going to come forward also. 4 more gateways. This is a very aggressive Marauder Marine move out. Stalkers could come in and kill a few SCVs. It feels like ASTREA is going pretty hard on the aggression right now. He's going to pick up a few SCVs, get in, get out. What's he got at home? Not much. I don't know if ASTREA can defend the counter pressure. He loses a Stalker for 4 SCVs. Good trade. Oh, no. Oh, no. ASTREA. I thought he was in a good spot. But BYUN just stims in. It's kind of a crazy push. It's so early. With how much damage he took, ASTREA never thought that this was possible. And he loses a Nexus, 8 probes, an Immortal, and a battery. And caught with his pants down. I really thought ASTREA was in a good position. But that first DT not going in when it could was definitely an issue. This is definitely an issue. The Stalker Immortal Zealot trying to hang out right now. The Immortal does take some damage. Stalker's starting to fall. The Immortal picks up drops. The Stalker's picking up and dropping. But the Marauders are going to be able to push through. And it feels like this is just too much damage, man. Even if you defend, you know, what are you doing? You're rebuilding your Robo now? Like, you just can't make any units. And, oh, BYUN with the decisive play. I really thought ASTREA had him here. And yet BYUN fights back with a decisive push out. Doesn't second guess himself thinking about getting any silly Ravens. And I think ASTREA just had no vision of the move out, right? Let's go back to that move out, guys. It's quite early that he left the base. It's quite early, about probably 6.5 minutes, right? Yeah, because he deals with that and then he immediately grabs everything and just goes. Look at this. He just moves out just past 6:30. Adept here. What are you doing? You dumb. You're meant to stand there, you stupid girl. This is the opposite of the Jurassic Park clever girl meme. Stupid girl. Why? Why are you spotting it? Why did he move her off the path? What is this? What's she doing? I don't know why he moved her. I think he thought a drop might come out, but he doesn't replace the vision. This is a disastrous move for ASTREA. It's so unfortunate. If he knew this was coming, he could have defended. But you just need to actually get all your units together, you know, out front of the battery and engage the army with the battery overcharge, you'd be fine. Now, to be fair, ASTREA's Dark Templar usage, I think, was a little lacking. I think the first one not going in, I'm going to just call it terrible move. I think that was a big doo-doo. I thought he was going to win this series, guys. I literally forgot that he lost this series. People will be like, wow, Pig pretending he didn't know I literally thought he won this series. I forgot. Apparently BYUN won this. Yeah, I mean, just look at this DT though. Think about how much more damage he could have done. And it also would have made it hard for BYUN to micro here. Yeah, and then he sends this one back. He's like, he's trying to shows the prism to BYUN. It wasn't ASTREA's smoothest game. Even though he did decent with the follow-ups, and I think he would have been fine if the Adept didn't move out of position, there were a few too many doo-doos for Game 5 in such a close series. Really well-fought series on both sides. ASTREA is going to be kicking himself over post-youth. I think that was the game, which is obviously the biggest mistakes for him, where he absolutely could have won this series otherwise. 3-1, right? GG, well played, though. BYUN fights back, gets a victory, and hats off to him for doing it, because ASTREA plays different to other Protoss players. He's hard to prepare for. When you're nervous on the big stage, playing against a guy like ASTREA is really hard. because he forces you constantly into situations that you're not used to playing. So hats off to both players for a fantastic series, but BYUN continues onwards in the lower bracket while ASTREA does go straight down to that knockout bracket.